You're listening to DraftKings Network.
This is the Dan Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
I've been a hater of the Colorado Buffalo program this year, and I've laid out plenty of reasons, and I'm not going to bore you with more. I will outline that Matt Rule is one game better than Coach Prime this season, and that's funny. But I was
off to a bad start, Mike.
I was watching the UCLA-Colorado game. I think UCLA is good, and Colorado covered a solid performance there. Something happened. Well, a couple things happened after the game. We'll get to Coach Prime's criticism of his players later. But something happened after the game that really bothered me, and this may come as a surprise. It's bullshit that the Colorado players got robbed. Their jewelry was taken, and I know they've been flashy and they've shown it to opposing student sections over the course of the year. They don't really hide that they've got some nice pieces. They got robbed while they were playing a football game. Someone went into their Rose Bowl locker room and stole their shit. And a lot of people are finding it funny. And look, it's a little funny, but it's bad. It's really, really bad. And UCLA and the stadium operations crew are totally sliding on this. This is absurd. You get robbed while you're playing a football game? This is an inside job. Is no one concerned?
It is bad. It is an inside job. It is something that is not getting very much attention. A team should feel, if no safety anywhere else going into a road stadium, like their stuff's not going to be stolen while they're playing the football game. This is exactly the reason that you don't tell people that you're leaving your house for an extended period of time, because then they know that there's an empty house there.
I'm not going to victim blame and say that they've been flashy with their jewelry. That's obviously known.
But you already did say they were flashy with their jewelry.
They've been flashy, but they've got nice pieces. You want to flash the nice pieces.
I know. They've been flashy. They have nicer pieces than most college kids. They keep showing them off, and you're surprised that probably a stadium employee went into the locker room and stole it?
Yes, I'm very surprised by that.
People are desperate,
I'm very surprised by that. I can't recall the last time a football team got robbed while their stuff was in the locker room.
I have not seen that story before. That is not.
I've seen chains snatched on the field of play before.
Right.
But in terms of going out to the gridiron, typically, I mean, historically speaking, your stuff is safe, and people are having a little bit too much fun at their expense because of how flashy they've been.
What do you want done? Do you want
jail?
Okay.
Really?
Jail.
Okay. They
a strong investigation.
Let's start with someone investigating it. Well, because it seems like no one is.
No, let's just go straight to jail. Let's not even investigate. Let's just start sending people to jail.
You can investigate and find out who's a perpetrator. There is plenty of guilt to be thrown around, and Rose Bowl security is at the top of the list. Is there no one standing in front of the locker room? Whose job is it to make sure that the opposing football team doesn't get robbed?
I'd start with the guy standing in front of the locker room. I mean,
yeah, he's prime suspect.
Yeah. But no, you'd start with an investigation of him, or just send him straight to
send
jail.
Him to jail.
Jail for
him or her.
Jail.
Correct. Yes.
Just
Huge
straight to
failure.
jail. Well, certainly fired from your job.
It's the job. It's literally called security.
It is not a great situation when you are playing a football game, and that game, incidentally, UCLA is a good deal better than Colorado. Colorado did cover, but UCLA had cartoonish turnovers.
Great teams, though. Great teams covered.
Yes.
But to be playing in that game and to be Shedeur Sanders, because they cannot block, and he gets sacked a ton and holds on to the ball a ton. I think he's been sacked more than any player in the sport, but also in that game, it was flooding through the offensive line how quickly they were getting there. To do that and then get back to the locker room and go to put on your watch. And be like, "Where's my watch?
All right, what time is it?
Where is it?"
I don't think that we're meeting the moment right now. You guys need to be properly pissed about this.
Well,
this is bull.
Okay, but you're right. You have not said anything that is incorrect, but you also
It's also a little bit funny, but it's bull.
You want jail and you want investigations, and you don't want to point out that they flash a lot of jewelry. But
I'm not doing that.
The
I won't.
flashing of the jewelry alerts people to the fact that you have valuables in your locker.
If it's an Arizona State student body member, I understand. That's the only time that I'm like, no jail.
I concur. I join Mike in condemning grand theft. In this case, it's weird. This will be solved. I'm going to guarantee that right now because there's too many people around a locker room. I know in an NFL game, a locker room always is populated with people from the team. Even during the game, there's an equipment guy in there. There's somebody in there. There's security around. There's cameras. I guarantee you this will be solved. Things like this happen occasionally, and it's almost always solved because it's so difficult.
There have to be cameras in there, do there not?
It's the Rose Bowl. It's older.
Granddaddy of them all.
You say, of course, though, Stugotz. Thank you for nothing there with granddaddy.
No, he's
of them
right.
all.
He's the granddaddy.
All right,
yeah, he's right about
he
that.
is right, but he's not right that your granddaddy always has cameras.
What do you do if this is like an Ethan Hunt situation, right? Where like you get lowered from the ceiling? What is the security guard at the outside of the locker room supposed to do about that? Like if someone's crawling through the air vents, how are you supposed to prevent that if you're outside of the locker room?
I don't know if that's what happened here. But
Well, the investigation will show. It's early on.
Mike, I am reading a report right now. The Pasadena police, they're investigating the situation.
Oh, okay.
Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, it makes me
they
feel
might
way
be in
better.
on it.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody's in on it.
Inside job.
Everybody's in on it, but it's not at all. It's not at all funny, even though it's a little funny.
You just accused the Pasadena police of being involved in this?
He said inside job. All he's had so far in this segment is inside job. He loves.
I love a good inside job.
Loves an opportunity to just shout in the general direction of anybody who's got ears. It was an inside job.
Speaking of inside jobs,
What if Dion did it to teach them a lesson?
Oh, wow.
Well, that would be a good story.
That's
Inside job.
That's what I was getting to
Inside
because
job.
I mean that'd be weird and redundant because Coach Prime already took the opportunity to teach his team a lesson in the post-game interview. You mentioned how their offensive line is bad, and yeah, maybe Shedeur Sanders is holding on to the ball a little too long, but for all the infusion of new talent, for all the roster turnover, building in the trenches, especially when that's a weak point, that does take time year over year. Some of the best recruiters on the planet still need time to solidify the trenches. It sounds like Coach Prime needs a little bit more Louis, and he's making no bones about it.
Coach, you mentioned the coaching aspect of it as well.
Yes, sir.
Specifically with the offensive line, I mean, what has to improve in that aspect besides from
The line has to improve. It ain't no aspect. The line has to improve.
That's in terms of the big picture, trying to keep Shedeur upright, healthy, and overall.
The big picture, you go get new linemen. That's the picture, and I'm going to paint it perfectly.
We've never seen that. We've never seen that. I'm not even saying it's bad. We've just never seen that. And it's not a great way to treat players that are already on your roster, but he's doing it his way. What are your opinions on that?
Well, you say it's not a great way to treat players on your roster, and you are correct, but it's also a professional way to treat players on your roster.
They're not making great money over there. What do you think a lineman's pulling in the University of Colorado?
Wait a second. For the most part, these are players that he chose, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell them to be better. Coach them.
A little.
Evaluate better.
Did turn over the roster,
Right.
And they're falling victim to how he spoke to the original Colorado team when he first made his appearance over there. He said that he was gonna bring his own luggage, and it's Louis.
But even at the pro level, you very rarely hear a head coach say, "We got to get new linemen." You hear them say, "We got to play better on the line." You don't hear them say, "We got to replace who we got," like he did. That was pretty extreme.
But you wish you did.
Oh, yeah. No,
Well, but you also don't hear it because they can't quite do it that way.
Right.
And he can. He can
Yes.
just replace them.
Absolutely.
It's kind of bold to do that one with several games left in the season when those are the guys in charge of protecting your son.
Yeah.
Just seems like a very bold move.
But
from
they
Dion
can't
there.
be any worse at it than they are.
We're going to see. They might.
They can be, Dan.
Yeah, well,
Not
They got
sacked on
robbed this
every
weekend.
play.
They got a lot of
I don't think you guys did. You watch the UCLA game?
He was sacked seven
No, but it
times.
was startling how quickly they were
I
getting
know.
there, as if nobody was blocking them.
Look, him taking accountability specifically doesn't make the same kind of sexy news that it does when he blames other people in ways that we've never seen. And I think rightfully so, because he's blaming players in ways that we haven't seen. He does say the right things. Does he mean it? That's for other people to decide. But there have been quite a bit of failings on the coaching front, especially after a bye.
Didn't Narduzzi do the same thing after?
Yeah, but no one likes Pat Narduzzi. Everyone likes Coach Prime. You like Narduzzi?
He is such a weirdo. He has the biggest main character energy out of anyone. It's Pat Narduzzi's world, and we are all living in it.
He's the biggest sore loser in college football.
Love it.
And that is saying a lot. Here's the latest clip of Pat Narduzzi, who's been more seasoned at this head coaching game than Deion Sanders, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on how he handled this.
Well, I mean, when you lose like you lost today, you had a tough one last week. Why is it? I'll go back. I mean, you, as a football coach, you lose a lot of good players a year ago. You think as a coach you're gonna replace them. We obviously haven't. And again, it starts with me. I didn't do a good enough job coaching today, and put it on me. And we got to make plays. So just comes down to making plays and doing a better job coaching.
What is it about the road?
That's softer. They lost by 50 to Notre Dame.
Yeah, when he
took accountability.
He says it literally starts with him, when it literally started with the players.
Right. That's the move that he realized. If you play that back for me again, you will see when he realizes. This is the thing that Deion didn't do. He didn't walk it back at all. Narduzzi realized, I've just lost by 50 and I'm blaming everybody but me. And halfway through, he's like, and it starts with me. And I don't think he even hears himself saying that. I think he's got something in his coaching program
that he has to say
that presses a button after a loss and says that.
Well, I mean, when you lose like you lost today, you had a tough one last week. Why is it? I'll go back. I mean, you, as a football coach, you lose a lot of good players a year ago. You think as a coach you're gonna replace them. We obviously haven't. And again, it starts with me. I didn't do a good enough job coaching today, and put it on me. And we got to make plays. So just comes down to making plays and doing a better job coaching.
Are you saying he has some sort of body clock, like it's inside, it starts buzzing when he doesn't say it starts with me for 25 seconds?
Yes. And
an accountability clock. He's like, oh, accountability.
Yes. He has to say it whether he believes it or not. But another place that it starts with him is he's responsible for all of it. He gets the players, and he had good ones last year. And it's not because he got good ones last year, but this year he got good ones and they became bad without him having anything to do with it.
It's because that godforsaken portal. Speaking of godforsaken and portal, we will explore the Dabo Swinney clips that have gone viral next.
Tyler!
Hey everybody, happy football season. It's Mike, and let me tell you what I do from kickoff to the final whistle. I have a Miller Lite in my hand. I just don't go wrong with it. I learned from experience there is only one light beer worthy of our national obsession, because what's the point of having a beer if it doesn't taste like beer? You don't want to spend any time while you're watching football thinking about what you're drinking. And with the dependable flavor of Miller Lite, you don't have to worry about it, because it's only got 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you'll get all the taste that you crave without the calories. A light, less filling beer that tastes great in football, there's just no topping that, folks. At least not for me. This season, do what I do. Crack open a light beer that hits your taste buds so hard, you feel it in your heart. Make it Miller time all football season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Don Le Batard.
Chris, what was happening there? Can you please just explain to me? Just give the audience a glimpse into what's happening inside your soul as your father is delivering clunker after clunker.
It's just not surprising. He was texting me last night trying to get lines for it to make it funnier, and I was just like, I don't know if this one works. You're not really bringing anything to the conversation. It's just classic Greg Cody.
Stugotz.
Actually, Christopher and I never had that conversation because I did reach out to him and got zero response.
That's not true. I can show you my text right now. I wasn't a fan of it.
All right, show me that text.
There are the Codys tag teaming the show to kill it. The Codys as the crazy tag team duo, the Show Killers.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
It has been an awesome week for college coaches. Brian Ferentz, gone. Everyone is celebrating, and then Dabo Swinney off the rails. So he did his normal coach call-in show Monday night. Someone named Tyler calls in and gives his 2 cents. Now, normally, I'm always team not Dabo. In any situation, just team not Dabo. This time around, I don't want to say I'm team Dabo, but I'm definitely not team Tyler. Tyler calls in and starts talking about God, and he was like, so I get that you're a man of faith. Why in the world are we paying you that much money? And Dabo lost his mind.
Coach Swinney, it sounded a whole lot like Tommy Bowden. And I'll tell you one thing, Tommy Bowden didn't make the same amount of money as you do. You make $11.5 million a year. That's second in college football, if I'm not mistaken. And I know you're a man of religion. I'm a big fan, Coach. Before you categorize me as being in the 1.5%, I was going to Clemson games and my entire family going back generations. And I respect the fact that you're a man of faith. I'm curious if you've ever read Proverbs 16:18, which talks about pride coming before the fall. I was in the military and I was overseas for the big run. Something changed after 2018. You're humble, you're hungry and everything. And I always told people, man, Dabo, just listen to his press conferences. But after that 2018 national title, something changed. And there seems to be a lot of arrogance that came in. There's a lot of friends and family. So I'm curious, why are we paying you $11.5 million to go 4-4? And it's not just this year. It's been just the refusal to accept.
All right. What's this guy's name?
Tyler.
Hey, Tyler. I've listened to enough of you, Tyler. Listen, you can have all your opinions that you want. All right. I don't know how old you are. Don't really care. But let me tell you something. We won 11 games last year, and you're part of the problem. To be honest with you, because that is part of the problem. It's people like you that all you do is the appreciation. The expectation is greater than the appreciation, and that's the problem. And so, we've won 12 10-plus win seasons in a row. That's happened 3 times in 150 years. So if you want to know why, Clemson ain't sniffed a national championship for 35 years. We've won 2 in 7 years, and there's only 2 other teams that can say that: Georgia and Alabama. Okay? Is this a bad year? Yeah. And it's my responsibility. Take 100% responsibility for it. But all this bull crap you're thinking, all these narratives you read, listen, man, you can have your opinion all you want. And you can apply for the job. And good luck to you. But to answer your question, all right, we're second in draft picks. We've graduated 98% of our guys. We're second in wins.
That is the hardest question I have ever heard a coach be asked.
And the longest.
Yes.
To ask that directly, is there more sound of Dabo just being defensive?
Yeah, there is more, and I think so far he's acquitted himself nicely, outside of not thanking Tyler for his service. That's a huge
misstep. Big misstep.
But it does start with him. He did say that.
Yeah, which I appreciate. And Tyler does go at Dabo quite a bit. I mean, calling him Tommy Bowden and saying Tommy Bowden didn't make that kind of money, and citing the Bible,
called him arrogant.
Pride comes before the fall.
Something changed in 2018.
Yeah. I mean, I thought Dabo did explain his cause quite well, but he goes on.
Again, I'm telling you, we're not perfect. Frank Howard never had a bad year. Coach Ford never had a bad year. Coach K has never had a bad year in basketball. People have a bad year. But the part of the problem is the appreciation. I used to tell people all the time, they'd say, what's the difference in Clemson? Let me tell you. At some places there's an expectation, but at Clemson there's an appreciation. And what's happened at Clemson is we've won so much that even when it used to be the fun's in the winning, now even when you win, people like you complain and criticize the coaches and question everything. People like you, all right, when I hired Tony Elliott to be the offensive coordinator who never called a play in his life, I'm sure you were critical then. All right, and he took us to 2 national championships. People like you who just love to destroy people with your comments. I'm sure you've never made any bad decisions. I'm sure you've lived a perfect life. I'm sure you've led a bunch of people. I'm sure you do your job in front. So to answer your question, I started as the lowest paid coach in this freaking business. All right, and I'm where I am because I've worked my ass off every single day. And I ain't going to let some smart-ass kid get on this phone and create this stuff. So if you got a problem with that, I don't care. I work for the Board of Trustees, the President, and the AD. And if they're tired of me leading this program, all they got to do is let me know. I'll go somewhere else where there is an appreciation.
Whoa.
Thank you for your service.
Wow.
I like Dabo now. I got to be honest. I mean,
I took all of that and didn't think that Dabo was wrong. He has altered. Clemson was a punchline before he got there. Clemson was always going to Clemson. They were going to lose every important game, and he made them matter. And I'm sure they're spoiled the same way that Patriots fans are now spoiled. But once that toothpaste comes out of the tube, you cannot put it back. Like, once you've given the people the taste of that, you can't be 4-4 and then defending yourself this defensively.
People like you.
I love that. You.
Intent on destroying other human beings.
He goes on to defend himself some more because clearly what Tyler said didn't really bother Dabo. So he goes on for another minute.
Am I perfect? Nope. I'm far from it. And I am a man of faith. Absolutely. I'm 53 years old. And there ain't one thing in my life. I have been a part of failure many times, but there ain't one thing in my life that I've ever failed at, Tyler. Never. All right? I wanted to get an education. I got 2 degrees. I wanted to be the first college in my graduate my family. I did it. I wanted to go play football at Alabama. I earned a scholarship, lettered 3 years.
Earned it.
Worked my ass off. Won a national championship. I wanted to get into coaching. I worked my way to being a head coach. And when I got this job, and I'm sure you didn't want me to get this job, and 15 years later I'm still here, and I'd say the results are what they are, and I stand on them. So you don't ever have to call back. I wanted to get married. I've been married for going on 30 years. I wanted to be a father. I've raised 3 great sons.
Nailed it.
If you don't like how I run the program, don't be a fan. I don't care. But I'm the head coach, and I'm going to do what I believe is right for the long term of this program, what's best for the players, and what I think's best for the moment. If you got a problem with that, that's fine. But I'm not going to sit here and let you call. I don't give a crap how much money I make. You ain't going to talk to me like I'm 12 years old. You'd be freaking kidding me.
Amen.
Stuck the landing, man.
The host of the show being like, alrighty.
That is right. I'm going to wrap it all up with the punctuation, a little punctuation with God involved. Amen.
Amen.
Can you please, Mike, get for me the Tyler isolated with Rodney, with Draymond Green's Rodney, because I believe we have a new competitor now to the dismissive Rodney Magruder clip, because I cannot believe the Tyler that he just dismissed Tyler with. Lucy, you seem delighted over there.
Are you kidding? That's hilarious. Tyler. Oh, my God.
But he went to the Mike Francesa School of Dealing with Criticism. So this is not going to end well for him. If anyone there has a sense of humor, every week will turn into people trolling him.
I wanted to get married. Did it.
Tyler.
2 degrees.
I wanted to have kids.
I wanted to have kids like an animal.
3 of them.
Tyler.
I was procreating like crazy. I only wanted 1 kid. I had 3. That's how successful I am.
Tyler.
List of achievements. Had 3 kids.
He gave him
I run this program.
Gave him the whole resume.
Lettered 3 years. Went from walk-on to a scholarship.
Tyler.
The fact that he didn't point out is 4-4.
And 2-4 in the conference.
Amen.
Tyler's feeling good about that, though, right?
Tyler effectively got to him, and it takes a lot for me to say, Dabo made a lot of good points, and I do think he is a victim of the expectations and the bar that he set over there. This isn't a surprise. This season following last season isn't a surprise because their trajectory, you can only be hot for so long. What Nick Saban has done in Alabama is really without precedent inside of college football. It was headed in this direction, but when Dabo snaps back and says, we won 11 games last year, we won the conference, he has very recent success. Miami's been in that conference for 20 years, and they've got plenty of prestige. They've never won it. Dabo owned that conference, so I think you can afford him a bad year.
Can we please just play again the long question? I want to know the spot that you think Dabo got most pissed off. Because there were 3 or 4 that he hit him with. Dabo was going to lose his mind as soon as he's quoting scripture to criticize him.
I don't know if you're familiar with Proverbs 15:17. Pride comes before the fall. I think that's what got him.
I think towards the end of it, there's something where he just hammers back to, what are you doing to deserve this $11 million?
Yeah,
Coach Swinney, it sounded a whole lot like Tommy Bowden. And I'll tell you one thing, Tommy Bowden didn't make the same amount of money as you do. You make $11.5 million a year. That's second in college football, if I'm not mistaken. And I know you're a man of religion. I'm a big fan, Coach. Before you categorized me as being in the 1.5%, I was going to Clemson games and my entire family going back generations. And I respect the fact that you're a man of faith. I'm curious if you've ever read Proverbs 16:18, which talks about pride coming before the fall. I was in the military and I was overseas for the big run. Something changed after 2018. You're humble, you're hungry and everything. And I always told people, man, Dabo, just listen to his press conferences. But after that 2018 national title, something changed. And there seems to be a lot of arrogance that came in. There was a lot of friends and family. So I'm curious, why are we paying you $11.5 million to go 4-4, and it's not just this year. It's been just a refusal to accept.
All right. What's this guy's name?
Tyler.
Hey, Tyler.
Such a bad job by the producer.
I counted 2 pshaws before he said, "What's this guy's name?"
He snorted snot from his nose in disgust, and it wasn't even friends and family that got him.
So much friends and family.
That was like 5th on the list.
People like you. Tyler.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by KFC's new hot and spicy wings. Get fired up this fantasy season with 8 pieces of spicy marinated hand-breaded wings for just $4.99. Are you kidding me? They're a can't-miss call for whatever the fantasy gods throw your way. In the midst of a managerial hot streak, keep it rolling with KFC's new hot and spicy wings. Did you just assemble the worst lineup in fantasy history? Who cares? You can get 8 KFC new hot and spicy wings for $4.99 right now. Marinated in spice, hand-breaded to perfection. KFC's new hot and spicy wings are here. 8 pieces for just $4.99. It's finger-licking good.
Dan Le Batard.
Cody decides to give his opinions on things right when we're coming back. He started yammering about, don't you hate the phrase controlling your own destiny? Destiny can't be controlled.
Right. It's an oxymoron.
Stugotz.
I fully thought you were going to go in with take the oxy out of it. That's what you are. I didn't say it. I'm saying that's something that Dan would say.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
I love you. You didn't say I love you back. You're mad at me. Oh, no.
That is, put it on the poll, Guillermo. Does Stugotz throw out I love yous only to get I love yous back?
Greg, I love you.
I love you.
Okay. Feel better now.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
The mask looks so tight on your mouth area.
I had to cut it. It was just like a little slit, but it wouldn't work. I tried to talk in it and it didn't work.
That is Shea Serrano and Jason Concepcion. They are with us. You remember them from Grantland. They worked together on Shea's new show, Primo.
I can't hear nobody.
Primo. They're back together with a big new podcast called Six Trophies. All right. Go ahead and explain to everybody, Jason, what it is that you see happening here.
Are you talking about on the show? Well,
no, right now. Just right now as we gather together, set the scene for everybody on what it is that you're laughing at and why you're laughing.
Well, Freddy Krueger has arrived to do the hit here at the Great Dan Le Batard show for Meadowlark Media. And I guess I never noticed this before with all the times I've seen Freddy and been terrified by him, but his mouth is very, very tight. I don't know if he got fillers. You know, he might have got fillers and I think a little procedure to kind of tighten up the cheeks. And he looks great, but he can't really enunciate that well now with the new cheek fillers, and I think a little lip plumper too. Your mouth looks really tight, Freddie. Are you good?
Thanks. No, it's very...
All right. We won't talk to Shea. Shea is struggling. We'll come back.
I can only hear Jason sometimes.
It's an odd costume choice when you have to talk.
It's not great. It does look it does look extra tight. I appreciate that these two guys really tried today. Unlike this lazy Meadowlark crew of Halloween frauds.
Braxton Garrett.
Thank you.
Fork in the road.
Thank you, Shea and Jason, for being on with us. I should remind everyone they've got a new podcast. It's very popular, 6 Trophies. They hand out 6 pop culture trophies each week for 6 different basketball things. We'll get to the top 6 in a moment, but let's get Freddy Krueger's analysis so far, Shea, because he wrote the new Slam cover story. I imagine this was a career highlight on Victor Wembanyama. What did you learn, Shea, speaking to him?
All right, he can't hear us.
He can't move his face.
Shea, they're asking you what you learned about Victor Wembanyama for your Slam cover story.
And that he's awesome, and that he rules, and that I love him, and that watching him play basketball for the next 15 years.
We're gonna work through Jason on this one.
We're gonna work.
I just want to ask. I want to ask one more thing, Freddie. What are Victor's dreams like? Have you crept into his dreams yet? And what are those like?
It's a lot of like, it's like a marker doing floaters, like the little floaters in the paint, but instead of basketball, he's shooting a crate into a cappuccino.
Beautiful. As a Parisian, myself, Parisian bedbug, Victor Wembanyama. You might have read some of my great works.
Oh no!
Such as The Wretched Bug. No relation.
Wembanyama. I am really troubled by Shea's general sound issues.
Yeah, it makes him sound extra creepy, but I enjoy the sight gag so much that while we interview Jason, we're just going to keep up an image of Shea, of Freddy Krueger with filler.
Of a sad Freddy Krueger with his mouth not working very well. Shea, do you have a top 6?
So you go straight to Shea.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No,
I can relay it.
Yes. No, I don't want to go to Shea anymore. Jason, I want your help with setting up the top 6 moments. The top 6 moments in 6 trophies.
How's this going?
In 6 trophies. Your head has been in your hands the entire time. Old fork in the road. Not helpful.
Shea, you know what Chris is for Halloween?
In any way.
Yeah, what is that?
Fork in the road.
It's someone who's not trying enough.
Come
It's
on,
what
guys.
it is. It's profound.
Can we go around the control booth? I know you've probably done this, but I would love to understand what these costumes are.
They're not very good. Go ahead, Lucy.
Lucy's wearing one.
Billy and Stugotz and Mike have done nothing.
I'm Braxton Garrett.
Lucy is the ghost of Iowa offense.
We're back.
Greg Cody is a promotion for his new book, #1 on the niche bestseller list of environments.
Kawasi the Lion.
Kawasi the Lion, and I am the patriarchy. I am what no one will be this Halloween, which is a lot of Barbie and Ken.
Yeah, Ken and the beautiful horses that have influenced him. Wonderful. The 6 trophies, shall I tell you what they are?
I would love that.
We do 6 trophies that never change every week. They're always the same. The 6 big trophies, they are the Denzel Washington Training Day Trophy given out to whoever has had the best overall performance of the week. The Lauryn Hill, you might win some, but you just lost one trophy given to the player or team of the worst performance of the week. The Dominic Toretto, I Live My Life a Quarter Mile at a Time trophy given out to the person or thing or team who made a decision with no regard for future consequence. The Daniel Plainview, I've abandoned my child, I've abandoned my boy trophy given out to a player or team we're temporarily giving up on. And the Chief Keef, that's that shit I don't like trophy, which is given to the player or team who did something that we don't like. The Step Brothers Catalina Wine Mixer Trophy, given out to the thing that we're most excited for, looking forward.
I'm gonna try for Shea one more time, even if he can't talk.
I can hear.
Oh yeah!
Nice.
Unfortunately,
he can hear, he can't speak. Yeah.
But I really enjoyed Freddy Krueger struggling with tech issues. In fact, using his paws sometimes to poke at his keyboard to see if he can get connectivity. Welcome aboard, Shea.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. Very excited. Super uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but it's worth it.
You're uncomfortable. Your sound remains shit. Jason, can you please go take us through the awards, please?
Take them. Who won them this week?
No, explain them again.
No, don't explain them again.
Don't listen to Billy. He's dressed as an anarchist.
I'm Braxton Garrett.
Well, gosh, I don't want to step on it because the pod comes out Wednesday. You're just going to have to tune in, much like I've been tuning in to the Netflix series Neon, which I can't stop watching, you guys.
What's so good about it?
Watch it now.
What's so good about it? Because you are invested.
It's just a fantastic show about following your dreams.
Right.
Those dreams being stardom in the music business.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's a wonderful television program created by true geniuses. I wish I know who those geniuses are, but the show is fantastic. It's called Neon. It's on Netflix.
The genius
now.
is Daddy Yankee.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I had a dream that you would answer Dan's question and give us the 6 awards.
Hey, give us a 6. If not, we got to kick it over to Stugotz, who has the top 7.
Can you give us
Shea,
last
give him the
week's
6
winners?
awards. Who won the awards?
How about one?
The person who won the Denzel Washington and Training Day Award, which is given out to whoever had the best performance. It's the single best performance. Damian Lillard wins it this week for his debut in Milwaukee, where he goes bananas.
Despite the Miami Heat, clearly, also. He did it to spite them.
I want the Catalina Wine Mixer Award too. Can I get that one? You've got 4 other awards to tease there, so you can't give too much of it away. But what are the chances of getting the Catalina Wine Mixer Award?
Go ahead, Jason.
It's the midseason tournament, which starts this Friday, which I, like many, am very fascinated to see how it turns out. I had kind of no feelings about it until the wonderful commercial with Michael Imperioli aired, and now I'm all the way in, and I can't wait to see what happens.
That is a great commercial. It was very well done in the Oceans theme of the Ocean's 11 movies. That commercial though has not sold Stugotz. Stugotz is not in on the tournament.
I'm not in.
Stugotz?
Because I don't listen. The NBA is fine. I don't need midseason tournaments. I like the Larry O'Brien Trophy. I'm just not in on it. It seems like a gimmick to keep me interested, and I'm plenty interested in the NBA.
The NBA is
I don't
fine.
need gimmicks.
Stugotz,
Yeah.
That's got people running to their television. Guys, the NBA is fine. Come on down.
I mean, you're gonna run to your TV to watch a tournament, a midseason tournament that starts 5 games in for a trophy that no one cares about. I mean, come on.
$500,000 for the winners? Cash money?
But what if LeBron tears his ACL?
Right. Then you'll rip it.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just asking. I mean, World Baseball Classic, there's a bunch of injuries that never being turned on.
But Billy, what if he tears his ACL against the Memphis Grizzlies in Game 4? Guess what? That's also counting as in mid-season NBA tournament game.
I just asked the questions.
Is your top 7 ready, Stugotz?
Yes, it is.
And what is it? Your top 7 what?
This is, and I should just give you a couple of them, but this is the top 7 NBA players I want to retire.
Why should you just give me a couple of them?
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you a few.
No, why should you just give me
Well,
a
because
couple
they're
of
only giving us a couple, and I feel like I should only give them a couple, you know? I mean,
This first
7
one?
Trophies podcast coming at you. I'm telling you that right now.
Yeah, keep up, Ken.
The Sly Stallone Award. I mean...
Who are the players who should retire? Do you have any outside looking in, or is it just straight 7?
I just have straight 7, Dan.
All right, let's see what you got. Number 7.
Nikola Jokic. It seems like work. He won his title. He wants to go be a jockey. He has no interest in being in the United States. Go home and retire.
Number 6.
PJ Tucker.
Fresh start.
Yeah, you know what? Trade yourself to retirement because I am tired of PJ Tucker. He's the missing piece. He's this, he's that. He's been on 4 teams in 3 years. Get over yourself and retire.
Number 5.
Number 5, Robert Covington.
Rocco.
Everyone thinks they're a Bobco away at the trade deadline, Dan, every single year. You know what? They're not a Bobco away. Retire, Bobco.
Number 4.
Everyone always thinks, Dan, they're a Nicholas Batum away. You know what? They're not a Nicholas Batum away. Batum, retire.
Number 3.
Everyone always thinks, Dan, they're a Marcus Morris away. You know what? They're not a Marcus Morris away. Morris, both of you, retire.
Wow, both of you.
Just one. Just one.
Number 2. Well,
I don't want to give the rest. You'll have to listen to the podcast. I mean,
well, but you're not
7 trophies.
You don't have a podcast named 7 trophies.
Number two, the Clippers.
All of them?
All of them, yes.
Number 1.
LeBron James. Enjoy a Sunday night dinner with the family. Monday with Halloween with the kids. Do something besides play basketball. I got an idea. Retire.
The 6 Trophies podcast. They're back together again. Jason Concepcion and Shea Serrano. Thank you, gentlemen. We hope next time to have slightly better connection.
Truly disastrous. Although the bug costume was great.